You're listening to Wisdom of the Ages, the show that taps into the many expressions of universal, ancestral, and personal wisdom to ignite evolutionary consciousness.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wisdom of the Ages podcast show, where we invite the sacred into modern day reality. So let me tell you why you're going to be excited about this episode. Have you ever wanted to meet a true priestess? I know I have. So my guest today is a holistic nutrition counselor and true medicine woman for the body, mind, and spirit. So I would like to introduce Marcela Benson. This amazing woman has studied holistic nutrition with Dr. Gabriel Cousens, Ayurvedic science, Chinese tonic herbalism, Amazonian herbalism, healing with gems, and vegan and raw food nutrition with some of the top institutes in the world. She's also an Essene priestess. She's written a new book called Love, Peace, and Vegetables, which will be published by Infinite Light Publishing, and I'm super excited about this book. So welcome, Marcela.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here to share your wisdom with us. So let's just jump in. You know, I'm going to throw a question to you that I think is really important right now. In your book, which I was able to read, and I absolutely love it. It's just stunning. The images, the poetry, just it's a work of art. It's an incredible gift to humanity. But you connect Mother Earth with environmental consciousness. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it is time that we all start considering our personal lives also, the impact of our personal life to the impact of our collective life and the environment. So definitely in the book, I talk about environmental consciousness because everything you do for yourself, you're doing for the environment. So, for example, if you are not using chemicals in your house, basically you're saving the environment from harmful chemicals. And as we look at our lives this way, everything that we do for ourselves, when we feel healthy, when we feel vibrant, we do emit this and we do project this into the world, and the world gets to be a better world for others. So that's
beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. So but I do have a question for you because lots of people are interested in nutrition. There are all kinds of nutritionists. I know you're a nutrition counselor, but you're a holistic spiritual nutrition counselor. So how is that different from the standard diet in the West?
Yes, I know that spiritual nutrition counselor, it's a very, very, very something almost not heard. But because I was trained with Dr. Gabriel Cousens as a spiritual nutrition counselor, definitely as a stand in the world for understanding that peace is our birthright. And just a diet alone, for me, never caught it. I just never understood why, okay, if I'm thin, if I'm beautiful, and if I eat whatever diet they tell you that should be best for the human being, everything should be happy and dandy. And for me, it just felt so fake, always. So yeah. I went my whole life in a quest on the understanding is where has this fracture us from who we really are? So in my practice, spiritual nutrition, as a spiritual nutrition counselor, I teach people how to come back into oneness and how the food we eat and our daily life is not separate.
So is this, so would you say this is more of a vegan vegetarian lifestyle?
Yes.
And
yes.
And why? Yeah. Why would that be? Why would you? Why vegan? Why vegan? Because people, I mean, there are all these different diets. There's the paleo diet. Everybody has a different take on it. It can drive you crazy, listening to all these people and why you should do this, that, or the other. But why vegan?
Well, I teach a vegan and live food nutrition because it's definitely the highest vibration. And nutritionally, today we live in such a phenomenal time with all the movies and the documentaries, like the Game Changers, that really the doctors are now showing how the vegan nutrition is really the biggest upgrade you can do for your life and the environment, which is phenomenal. So, I've been a vegetarian since I'm 15 years old because for me, it's always been a quest of spirit. And not necessarily when you come to my practice, I said, you must do a vegan diet, but I don't give anything else than that. But sometimes you have to come around it. To come around it in a holistic manner, you must connect your heart back into what's going on. What's going on in your life is not separate from the murdering that is happening and the disregard of the environment in the world.
Which is everywhere right now. I mean, we're in a global crisis, and we're all, I think everybody wants to know, how do we deal with this global crisis, without just putting a pillow over our heads, how do we actually show up right now, today, and go, how do I establish love? How do I establish peace? How do I show up in a way that I can really love and be proud of in this planet? How do we do this?
Put your focus on love. Put your focus on peace. Put your everyday life, center it in love. How do you center your life in love? Your life is centered around food, is centered around the people that you love. And by moving some things around, you can center your whole life in love. And the vegan nutrition, the spiritual nutrition, it is a way of centering your life in love.
Would you say that there's a shift from, gosh, we've been in a culture of death for a long time, and maybe the vegan philosophy is more centered on life, would you say?
Absolutely, centered on life, and it's centered on kindness. Everybody wants the kind world, but if we are sitting, one of the things that I say in my book, if we're sitting in a table of horror, how are we going to, it's a bit like this bipolar thing. We want kindness, we want love, we want a beautiful world, we want a natural world. So where do we start? We start with our own lives. And this is what I propose. Is simple and as difficult as that, loving yourself.
So I've actually had the honor and privilege of doing a cleansing program with you. And I have to say that I was completely transformed by it, and just really want to thank you for how that absolutely changed my body-mind. So I want to invite you to share how people might do a cleansing program with you also.
Yes. Well, there is several cleansings you can do. I don't want people to go into an obsessive detox thing. Yes, it is good to cleanse. It's good to choose fast, and it all depends where you are in your life. It all depends the state of your health. And but there is one thing that I offer, which is fantastic and is free. It's a 3-day cleansing food plan. And in this 3 days cleansing food plan, I offer a lot of wisdom in a very simple manner. That the first day you eat without oils, the second day you add the oils, and the third day you're back in track eating a nice, delicious vegan nutrition. So that's one of the ways you can do. Another way is just you have to reach out to me and see what I do, and but everything else is basically private practice.
And how would they find you? Do you have a website?
Yes. www.marcela.org.
Okay, that's beautiful. So we've been talking with Marcela Benson, and when we come back from this short break, we're going to talk more about love, peace, and vegetables. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone. This is Tonya Don Rekla, Executive Director of Superpower Experts, and we want to thank each of you for making Superpower Up the #1 podcast network for personal development and spiritual growth. Because people like you have the courage to say that mindfulness, healthy living, disrupting reality, the pursuit of consciousness, responsible entrepreneurship, and radical parenting matter. We now amass over 1 million downloads monthly in more than 90 countries. Our numbers keep growing because there are far more people willing to live divergently than mass media wants to acknowledge. For you, the change makers, the light bearers, the way showers, we say thank you. If you're ready to take the next step in your evolution, go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the Superpower Quiz. And as Neva Lee Rekla, our youngest podcaster, likes to remind us, remember, we all have superpowers and we can change the world.
So hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wisdom of the Ages podcast show. You can find out more about the show on wisdomoftheages.superpowerexperts.com. And so today we're talking with wise guest, Marcela Benson. So Marcela, in this world that needs love, peace, and connection, what wisdom would you like to share with our listeners today?
Well, I think one of the most important things to be, to be able to change, you must embrace a new path. And I think that's one of the most important things, that I want to share. Don't forget that if you do want to change, you want a better world, you must embrace change in your life.
Yeah, it does seem like we're in the shift time right now. So, oh my gosh, there's a lot here. So, okay, so your book, Love, Peace, and Vegetables, is I absolutely love this book. It's I find it to be like the guidebook for the high priestesses or the priestesses of today. So I'm really in love with that. I love the art. I love the visuals. I love the whole structure of it. So, congratulations on this masterpiece, really. So, your book begins with self-love. So let's just talk about self-love and love for a minute. How do we do that? And why is that important?
Well, I think one of the things that I wanted to address in the book is that when you're truly standing on self-love, it's not only for you, it's for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And self-love, yes, it's about learning. You need to learn some new ways of loving yourself, such as how to drink the best water. So every action of your day, from drinking your water, from the salt you use, from the food you prepare, from the food you buy. Are you buying organic food? Are you buying conventional food? All of this is an act of self-love, and we must bring it into the conversation because self-love means that you're going to do enough things for your body to be preserved in a way that you have enough time to wake up.
Mm-hmm. It seems like when you're talking about it, in our culture, our Western culture, it seems like we've learned to be separate from the body, from the earth. And it's really caused the crisis that we're in. And so what I'm understanding is that just loving the body for a minute is a way to begin this practice. And if we really love our bodies, then maybe we realize that our body's not so separate from the earth, that we can really, and that we want to think about. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think what you said about loving our bodies and how we are disconnected from that. And I think the disconnection comes from the lack of action. It's all a word. Okay, loving your body, mind and spirit, and love. These are all words. But what are we really doing about it?
Exactly. What are we doing? What are we doing? We need to do something.
Exactly. We can't just talk about it. We have to do something about it. And, and I think that's the most important. We can talk all of these things, but if we don't do anything about it, we're not really loving ourselves.
Yeah.
So a call to action, it's important.
Yeah. So we start with, we're going to buy the first step, because maybe not everybody's ready to go vegan yet, but everyone can really start focusing on organic food, or where the food comes from, right? Just local food, right? That's right. The beginning. Yeah.
Absolutely. And not only local food, we don't even need to start in our food. We need to start in our water. This is, my first chapter in the book. It's about water, the structure of love. And I think this is one of the single most important things, and this is the single most important thing that I teach to all my students and now the listeners. Your water. What are you drinking? What are you drinking with? Are you having every day your water in plastic? Do you know the quality of your water? Is your water structured? Do you know that water is a living being and brings life into us? Do you know that when we drink water, it creates hydroelectricity within us that feeds our cells the energy that they need? Do you know that water is the foundation of your health? Right? So water is so important in so many levels.
It's so important. And one of the things that I loved about doing the cleanse with you is how you would bring these like beautiful crystal pitchers out with like rose quartz or amethysts, or I think there were emeralds. There were different ones, and I still have this water that I drink every day, and making sure that I drink enough water. And I can say that's had a huge impact on my body, my mind too, no doubt.
Yeah.
Because what are we? 70% water?
Yeah, something like it, a little bit more even.
Yeah, I mean, so that means water might be the most important thing that we're putting in our body, or definitely one of them. And I love one of the things I really love about your book, because there are lots of books on vegan nutrition and vegetarian. I mean, well, you're completely vegan, but a lot of why we should have more vegetables. We all know we should need to work out at the gym, and we all know we should eat more vegetables. That's just a given. But one of the things that you stress in your book, and it's beautifully done. Just the visual image itself makes you want to go and structure your water immediately. And it's so easy to do. Do you want to give like maybe a quick recipe that people could do today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first things first, you must start with pure water. What does pure water mean? No, you cannot do this with tap water. Okay, either you start with spring water, good quality glass bottle spring water, or if you live near a spring and you know that spring is tested and the water is good, you want to start with that. If you don't live near a spring and you don't have anything, I recommend to use either a reversed osmosis, but my first pick is distilled water. Then after that, distilled water.
Would that be because distilled because it doesn't have a structure or a pattern in it? Is that why you choose distilled?
Yes, I chose distill because distilling your water is the closest to rainwater you're going to get. And then after that, you can program it. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The water is like an empty CD nowadays, if we need to compare it to something. So once you basically, once you have distilled water, you have the cleanest water you can get. but then you need to basically remineralize it and activate it. Okay? Otherwise, it's not compatible. It's not as compatible to the human body as we need it to be.
So you mineralize it with what, salt, like Himalayan salt crystals?
You can, yes. And in the book, I explain fully, and also in some of my blogs, I explain fully how to do this. And yes, you can remineralize it with a little bit of pure salt, or you can use different types of minerals, angstrom minerals, or minerals, just plain minerals, ionic minerals.
Okay. And that's all in your book. It's all covered.
That's all covered. That's all covered in the book. And then, of course, at the center of everything, after you distill it or you purify it with a reverse osmosis, or the simplest thing is spring water, good quality spring water. You don't need to remineralize it because spring water has minerals already. Then the only thing you need to do is you need to bless your water.
So what would one of those blessings be? Could we have a little insider secret here?
Well, I love this story. This is a Kabbalistic story. This is a Kabbalistic explanation of what a blessing means. What a blessing means is as if we were reaching towards heaven and bringing a branch from heaven down to earth. And as we say a blessing, we're planting this branch in earth, bringing heavens to earth.
Oh, that's so beautiful. My goodness. What an image.
Yeah, it's just very beautiful. And therefore, always when you see a blessing, this is what you're doing energetically. You're bringing heaven to earth, restructuring your water into this amazing holy structure with love, and bringing this pattern back into your life.
Nice. We could all really use a little more blessing.
Absolutely. And it doesn't need to be, a blessing doesn't need to be something dogmatic or something, it's just something from your heart. Just connect to your heart and connect to the unconditional love, not conditional love, the unconditional pure love. It's just like the ocean that comes back and forth, and that's what it's doing. And just by connecting with love, there is so many books you can read about it, like the Emoto book on water, and he shows in the microscope how the water structures by your sayings, which are so important.
I think it's called Messages from Water. I think that was the book, and I did go and meet him. What a wonderful experiment. So we could actually see in those frozen crystals what our thoughts, what our words, how they do actually literally impact the world around us. I remember Dr. Gabriel Cousens, doing a prayer over, it was a very simple prayer, but it was very beautiful. And I think it was just Bob Mem Bet. Is that correct? Bob Mem Bet. And I think he did it 3 times over water. And I thought that was so lovely to use the Hebrew words.
Yes. You can use Hebrew words if that resonates with your heart, but it's important that whatever you're going to say, you really feel it within. Really feel it within. So for some people, that would be something completely foreign. I always say, just connect with your heart. And for example, for my daughter who's 18 and she's in college, what I did is, because for her it's easier, that her water, that I taught her how to put some minerals, we sat down and we just wrote like different words: love, peace, health, and we just wrote that and pasted it in her bottle. So each time she goes to it, she sees it. She has the visual of love and peace and health in her bottle, straight in her bottle. So that's a form also of prayer. In my home, for example, I created a water altar. which you're going to see it in my book. What is that? I created a special space for water. So each time you go there, it's full of crystals and it has all of these, it's beautiful, full of crystals. So each time you go, it's like, oh, beauty. So through beauty, you connect to the divine. And each time you're drinking this water is with total admiration and beauty, and gives you not only a vacation to your eyes, but this connection with beauty elevates the hearts. And I see it over and over and over with the people that come to my studio and drink my water. The awe and the happiness brings drinking from a beautiful water altar. So you see, there's many ways of connecting, and you can make your life a living prayer.
That's lovely. That's so beautiful. On a previous show, we had Mark Whitwell saying, the only reason we ever experience suffering and despair is because of disconnection. And so he was sharing with us the in-breath and the out-breath, which I think is also really important. And then it seems like from what you're saying, a blessing is another way that we can connect to the intelligence of life, and just with the word love. I guess we could just say love over our water several times. And then we're inviting ourselves and all beings into alignment. How beautiful is that?
Mm-hmm.
So the second part of your book is on peace. And so we live in a world that we all know has gone slightly insane. So how do we find peace?
Focus on peace.
Mm-hmm.
Focus your life on peace. Instead of you learning all of these and lecturing everybody, that was one of the things that I wanted to always teach, is that, okay, once you learn something, just remember, you just learned it. Don't start preaching to everybody, but focus on it. And I know that preaching sometimes is a way of relearning it, but if we change our conversation from preaching to action, right, what are the changes you're making? It's always bringing it back to you. What are the changes you're making? What is that you're doing, that you're being an example for others of peace? Focus on peace. And you can do that through nutrition and through the words you're saying to others.
So we create peace by being peace. I understand.
Absolutely. Yeah. Focus on peace.
It's important right now. It's really, really important. So
yeah, I think this new era is going to be throwing judgment out and bringing words of love, words of wisdom, which nurture this part on us, which is our unconditional love. Unconditional love is not judgmental, but it's open and hears and teaches in many different ways, that is not by being harsh and judgmental.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, we definitely need some more tolerance in this world. So, your accent is a little different, and I know you're from Argentina, and your first language is Spanish.
Yes.
Do you want to? When I think of Argentina, I think of cows and cowboys. I mean, I actually love Buenos Aires, and it's very sophisticated. But most of the people I know from Argentina really like to eat a lot of meat. And how did you somehow shift from that sort of cultural way of being to being a vegan? How did that happen?
Well, for me, it was from one day to another. I've always was on the quest of spiritual life, and I was guided with the wonderful friends who were living already vegetarian lives, and I understood very early on that, wow, I didn't come to this world to create such an amount of suffering. When I got that, it was from one day to another, I'm vegetarian, and that, like, I started like that. Really, my story is a little bit different because some people take many years to become vegetarians or many years to become vegans. For me, the first day that I understood my friend, I was 15 years old, and my friend says, "Oh, you're Marcela, you're eating a cadaver," just like that.
Oh, I'll turn you off forever, right?
I was like, what? So you can imagine a 15-year-old is like highly impressionable. And like, I got it. I was like, what in the world am I doing?
Yeah.
And that day I became a vegetarian. And I became a vegetarian because I didn't know any better. And when I was when I was 28, and after I had my son, I started going to this vegan place to learn with amazing, amazing doctors. And one of them said, dairy is like liquid blood. And I'm like, what?
That turned you off right there.
Well, because I've already nursed my kids, and then I've already nursed my son, and I understood that blood becomes milk. And then I understood that the cows make this milk from their blood for their children. And I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm totally understood that. And I said, okay, I didn't come to do that. I didn't come to take from some other being. I want to be part of this world, not just a taker.
Mm.
And that's when my veganism, from one day to another one, everything fell into place, and I became a vegan, which is different from many people. Many people can become vegans or vegetarians for health, for beauty, and then, it might start growing a spiritual understanding. For me, was always from spirit understanding. My son, for example, who's 26, he's only vegan because he feels better. Mm. He says, I feel horrible when I eat meat. Otherwise, I will be eating meat, which he did. Right. And I'm like, okay, right. Okay, I take that.
Right. Yeah. That will do it. If you can give yourself a period of time to experiment with both and find out what's right for you.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And totally, and no judgment. Wherever you are is where you need to be, and you just create space. You're ready to create this space, and if you're right, and this is your path, this is what you do. And if not, you take whatever serves you, even from my book and from the words that I'm speaking today, and take it into your life. It doesn't need to be all of it.
Mm-hmm. It's the other thing that just really struck me about your book is the artwork. Just this who is the artist?
Yes. Well, the artist is a Balinese artist, Made Griawan. He's so amazing, and for me, art, it's part of my everyday life, and it couldn't be left out of my book. I met Griawan about 5 years ago, and I fell in love with a mystical story that he depicted on a painting I bought. And this mystical story, the moral of the mystical story was, whatever you start bad ends up bad. And this is so important about storytelling, transfers morals through a very easy way of remembering. Don't start things bad, because when you start things bad, they end up bad. And one of the things that I love Mother Griawan for is this is a quote from him. Let me read you a quote from him. He says, religious perspectives define how we are different. However, spirituality reveals that we are all one. And Mother Griawan is one of the most exceptional masters of the Batuan school of traditional Balinese painting. And he is really a profound spiritual man. And so we merge our spirituality, even though we spoke different language, we just knew that we're supposed to do something together in this world. So when I was taking the pictures in Bali for my book, after one day when I was driving, I said to my driver, I said, Astawa, I want to see Mother Gria one so bad, but I'm a little bit embarrassed because how can I tell him to do this incredible artist paintings for my little book? Because that's how I felt at the time.
Oh, you're magnificent. Your masterpiece. But anyway.
Yeah, but in my little world felt like that. And I'm like, how can I ask this master to do anything for me? And basically, Mother Gria one did not know how Astawa, who was my driver, did not know how I felt. And he turned around and he says, we are very close to the artist's house. Let's go there. Let's talk to him.
So are you in Bali right now? You're actually in Bali driving and it's...
Yes, I'm in Bali driving, going to buy a prop that I needed to shoot one of my pictures. And my driver says, let's go now. We're close to him.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was basically my last week in Bali of shooting pictures.
Okay. The pictures are pretty phenomenal too, the photography. But what happened with the art?
So basically, we went to see Mother Gria one, this exceptional artist for Bat One. And we sat and we chatted, and he agreed to come to my studio with happiness, with total joy. I'm like, I'm so curious about your work. And he did. He came the following day. He grabbed his scooter, he came to my studio, and he saw the work that I was doing. And we sat down, and with his poor English, my zero Balinese. Bahasa is the language of Bali.
Okay.
We had this resonance, and he felt that he could add something to my book, and he did, because we do believe that everything in writing, everything in painting transmits an energy. And his stand in the world is that he wants to bring peace and joy through his paintings. And my stand on the world is I want to inspire the world through peace, happiness, and food and love and vegetables.
Yes.
So we were resonating in such a phenomenal way. And I said, please, Mother Gria one, I want to give you these paintings to do. And he agreed to it. And I also said, please, when you're doing them, do not eat meat. And he looks at that, well, I can promise I'm going to do everything else, but I cannot promise this.
That's funny.
But you see, and I said, it's all good. I know you're going to, no matter what you're doing, your love is so great that I know you're going to be able to do right by me. And he did. He did these amazing paintings. And he said to me, Marcela, I never painted so fast in my life. Everything came down amazingly. And then now we're in an amazing alliance, basically, that all the paint, I'm going to sell the first 22 books with one of his original paintings. And the money collected to that is going to go to his, to buy more art supplies for the children he teaches for free in his village.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
Yeah. And his village carries this ancient art, which they were the preferred artist for the kingdom. And his village is so beautiful. It's flanked by 2 rivers. And they understand that the neighborhoods in between the 2 rivers, which is exactly where Mother Gria one lives, it is the womb of creativity of the kingdom of Ubud.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's so beautiful. It's so special. It's so special. Mother Gria one has been an incredible blessing, and I know people seeing his paintings in the book are going to be blessed by the energy he puts behind it.
They're clean, and they do somehow uplift, is what I felt. I just wanted to keep gazing at them and doing a deep meditation practice with them. They're just incredible. And then we're going to get into the vegetable part of your book, because I don't think I've ever seen food photography quite like this. This is probably not the right term, but somehow you found the most beautiful cups and saucers and dishes and plants and made this feast of raw vegan live food. I mean, everybody would want to convert probably after seeing the beauty of this practice. So who was the photographer? How did you do this?
Yes, well, the photographer, Ira Rodriguez, wonderful young photographer. But the most important about this photography is in the process of me understanding what does it take to create a book and a photography for a book, I understood that most of the books are created with fake food.
Fake food? Are you serious? They don't use real food in books? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, the food is sprayed and painted and retouched and then thrown to the garbage.
No.
Right. And I was like, no. I'm not doing that. Because I really do understand. You see, we have a problem that is not such a great problem, but since it's hidden from our eyes, this is the problem. For example, beauty nowadays. You might see a beautiful picture of a woman or of a man in the airport or in a magazine, okay? Mm-hmm. But you don't know this person. This person might be looking so beautiful. You know, they can make the dead looking beautiful now with makeup. Right?
This cadaver that we're eating. Sometimes.
Right. They can make it look beautiful and alive just with makeup. Right? Mm-hmm. And basically, when we are looking at a picture of beautiful people or beautiful things, it's a transmission of energy. So if the food is fake, that's what you get. Right? So in a very subconscious, subliminal way, you think that the fake is the real. So there is a confusion that happens with our energy field because we're not just these solid beings. And I wanted to make sure that all the pictures in my book are real and everybody was eating the food. It was not just, so all the food in my book is real. And I think that's what people get, the transmission of, yes, this food is real, it was made by me and it was eaten by most of the New Kuning neighborhood at the time I was doing it in Bali.
Did everybody love it?
Everybody loved it. We had a feast and it was so much amazing work and it was a party and work and everything together.
One of the things I really love about you is, the way I grew up in the kitchen was a little bit different, but being in the kitchen with you is like being in a party. I mean, you have the music on and you're dancing and you're just really enjoying each beautiful piece of fruit and each vegetable or your chia seeds or your salt or whatever you have. And it's just lovely. It invites you into well-being.
Yes. Well, but that's the point. Life invites life.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Life invites life. Mm-hmm. And this is huge. We must go back to that. I remember being in the Amazons and playing with these kids who were eating these little coconuts and they were all giggling. And, I'm like, okay, I got into that giggling and I'm like, yeah, life invites life. I realized then that just the simplicity of that, just be in joy. Joy, it is a true blessing. And if we just can practice that in every little action of our life, everything changes, not only for us.
I absolutely agree with that. It's
for everybody.
Yes, it's so true. It's so true. We can, in every moment, we can choose whether we are identifying and acting with a culture of death, or if we're making the shift. I mean, this is 2020 now. It's time to make the shift into the culture of life, where we include the feminine, we include the body, we include the food, we include sexuality, we include all genders. It's really a time of us coming together and loving this planet also.
Yes, through every action.
I absolutely agree with you. So, I know you have plans and programs, and your book will be coming out sometime this year, right?
Yes.
And but meanwhile, you have plans and programs that people can try out, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. They can look at my website or they can find me on Instagram. Instagram is Marcela T. Benson. I think the same thing, T as in Thomas, okay, because my maiden name is Tobal, so I put it as Marcela T. Benson. And this you can find me in Instagram, in my Instagram profile. You can go also into the 3-day food plan, the food cleanse. You can also look at my Amazon shop list. I created this amazing Amazon shopping list for everyone that is looking for supplements, postures, organic food, organic beauty, cosmetics, my favorite massage tools. I mean, I created a huge, it has like over 400 products, but it's been a process of more than 30 years. And I gotta put it together all together for people to like access for free what's good.
Right.
Okay? I don't want people to be in the sea of confusion. I want people to understand that if they read the ingredients of the products that I choose, you just learn so much just by reading and understanding the products that I'm choosing for beauty, for food, for posture, for massage. You start understanding what it is to live a lifestyle of centering love and your actions also centering love.
Well, that's made it easy for all of us that we know exactly where to shop.
It's made it easy also for me because I also shop through there because it's just impossible to remember everything. So I said, okay, I got to do something to help myself also and my kids.
Right. Your kids all over the world too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then your plan, it's time for me to do your plan again. And I think I can see that on your website. Is there a link to it?
Yes.
Is that the holistic nutrition website?
Yes. You can, the 3-day cleanse, you can find it at holisticnutritionstudio.com/love/.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
And if you cannot remember that, go to my Instagram and go to my profile, and then you can find it there.
Okay, good. And you're on Facebook also?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's wonderful. Okay. So we're starting to run out of time, but is there a practice or a blessing or something a poem maybe that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, I want to share something because the book not only has art and recipes, wisdom and advice and science, it also has something that is very dear to me. It has poetry. And I want to share, one time a student of mine was doing an inner inquiry, and she called me up and texted me actually and said, I need to know who I am, what you think of me. If you will say, who is that I am, who am I? And I was so beautifully surprised by this that I made this poem for her and that I want to share with you. Okay, so here it goes. Remember who you are. Holy, glorious brilliance originating from the One. The Great One plays through you. Who's keeping you here? Holy, brilliant resplendence. It is your form, limitations, and fear, the loyal guardian of your ego. Make room for brilliance. You are a cosmic mystery. There are galaxies within you, brilliantly shining infinite love.
That is just beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you to the listeners. I hope you get beyond my words.
Yes. I feel it. I feel a lovely presence, and I feel the in-breath and the out-breath. I feel connection to the poetry and the prayer. So thank you. And thank you for putting this book together. I know it was a lot. I mean, when you look at it, you can see the amount of research and work and just the amount of wisdom that has poured into it. And so I'm going to treasure it and thank you again. So
thank you.
Yeah. And thank you to everyone who's joined in as well. May your lives be filled with love, peace, and healthy vegetables.
I love you.
Lots of love. Yes.
Bye.
You've been listening to Ayn Cates Sullivan, host of Wisdom of the Ages. To view my books or find out more about Infinite Light Publishing, you can visit me on AynCatesSullivan.com. So until we meet again, may wisdom reveal its secrets to you, one message at a time.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the superpower quiz today.